So it's me, your boy K Samson. I have something to say which you have within you. When God was about to do what? To liberate the people of Israel, he said to Moses, "What is that in your hand?" and I can imagine Moses was looking around and saying, "What do I have in my hand?" That the Lord will said, "What is that in my hand?" And he looked and he remember he said, "I have a staff in my hand. I have a staff." He said, "Yes, drop that staff." He dropped it. The staff becomes snake. He said, "Take a water." He take a water. He said, "Drop it." The water become what? Blood. He gave him many signs. He said, "Say to the people of Israel that I am have what I've sent thee." I titled this message, brothers and sisters. I know many of us have been asking God, when are you going to visit my condition? But I'm here to tell you, what is that in your hand? We have been asking God for solution that which we have within us. There is power in our tongues. What is that in your hand? What is that in your hand? What is that you have in your hand? The Bible says the world will pass away. The earth may vanish and disappear. The earth may be destroyed like in the time of Noah. The world may do what? May destroy, may collapse like the time of Noah. But the Bible recorded, and it was recorded, that even the word of the Lord will never do what? Be destroyed. What does that mean? What is that in your hand? What have you holding as a weapon? What is that right in your hand? Speak to that thing. Speak to that thing. It will yield forth fruit. The Bible said the earth will do what? Will vomit that which they have swallowed. You get me? So for the earth to vomit that which you have swallowed, you will need to understand what you have in your hand, that you will use to command the earth to do what? To vomit that which he have swallowed. So before the earth will vomit anything that they have swallowed from you, before the enemy will release that thing that they have collected from you, you need to understand the secret of that thing that you hold in your hand. Moses was afraid. He said, "Lord, battalions of Israel, how am I going to tell them who sent me? How am I going to narrate it? Do you think they are going to believe me?" And the Lord said to him, "Moses, tell them, I am that I am, the God of your ancestors, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, have sent thee." And the Bible says, Moses said to Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And Pharaoh was looking at Moses. "Is it not you that have been in my palace? Is it not you who have served me? Is it not you that always eat in my table? Is it not you who always work for me?" Because Moses was once in the house of Pharaoh. He was living with them until something occurred that made him to run away. Because Moses killed an Egyptian on his way to his house, to his house. He killed an Egyptian with one of his friends. But something occurred that led Moses to run away from Israel, to run away from what? From Egypt. So that's why when Moses said to Pharaoh, "Let my people go," Pharaoh looked at him and said, "Who are you? Who have sent you?" He said, "I am that I am have sent me to tell you to let my people go." And Pharaoh's heart was so hidden that he refused to let them go. And the Bible says prophetically, God started to use Moses. He gave him sign. The heart of Pharaoh was so hidden. He gave him the second. The heart was so hidden until he gave him the last, where he took the people of Israel. The same staff was used. Hey, what is that in your hand, my brother? What is that you are holding? I know that the enemy will roar like a lion, but what is that rightly in your hand? They will come like a flood. They will come like a wind. You can see the wind blowing around. That is how they will come. But what is rightly in your hand? And the Bible says the children of Israel near the sea, they were trouble. Moses, where have you bring us? Is it not better we go back to our suffering place? Is it not better we go there and be working for them as a slave? And Moses looked up to God and said, "Lord, where?" I can remember a shout like my pastor, Apostle Joseph Suleiman. You got what I'm saying? So He looked at, he said, Lord, and the Lord said, Moses, what is that also in your hand? He said, staff. He said, Moses rose the staff and used it to smack the water. The Bible said, the river departed. And there was a road among inside, and the people of Israel passed. And the moment Moses still looked up and he heard the voice, what is that in your hand? You can say, what is that in your hand? And Moses stood up and smacked the water again. And immediately the enemy have already stepped inside. They're all drunk and die. So you that is facing problem, you that have been calling upon God, you that have been waiting for God intervention, for God's supernatural investigation, for God turnover, for God supernatural move, what is that in your hand? I'm asking you. What is rightly there in your hand? Hey, what are you holding? What is that in your hand? It's time for you to use it. Hey, he said to Peter, upon this mountain will I build my temple, that the gate of hell will not prevail. That means people will stand against you. Have air and demons, principalities and powers that will use your fellow brothers and sisters to stand against you.